Hey everyone, I just want to go over how to create a Microsoft Entra domain and getting license for Power App. As I said in my previous lesson, Microsoft Entra domain is required for you to access Power Apps. So there are three steps involved. First, you have to create a Azure Entra tenant, and second, what you have to do is add user to your tenant. This is optional if you do not want to use the same user that was used to create the Azure Enter tenant. So to create an Azure Enter tenant, you will have to create an ID. And once you create the ID, if you want to use the same ID, you can skip step two. But uh, it is best to create another user and use the new user to use Power Apps. And for the final step is you have to acquire a Power App license. Great. All right. So first thing you will have to do to create a Microsoft Enter tenant is you will have to go to Azure portal, and then you will have to sign in with a Microsoft account. The first thing that you have to do is go to my Azure.portal. You just type in Azure portal, and it's probably the first thing that's going to come up. It's portal.azure.com. And if you already have an account, you could type your Azure account. But since we do not have one, you can click on this button called Create One. So when you click Create One, it's going to ask you for a Microsoft account. It's asking you to create a Microsoft account. I'm just going to create one right now. You should ideally be using a new Microsoft account here. If you use the Microsoft account that you use to log in into Xbox or log in into Microsoft Windows, it can cause some problem with billing. So if you're going to learn Power Apps, create a new Microsoft account. And once you stop learning Microsoft account, you can forget this account. Best practice to leave your personal Microsoft account out of this out of Azure. So what I'm going to do is right now I'm just going to put an email address, and you can put any Microsoft's domain like at hotmail.com or at outlook.com or something. I'm just going to put outlook.com. So when you put outlook.com, it gives you the option. You can put outlook.com, or if you live in a particular country, it will automatically suggest uh, just suggest your country's uh, domain name, and you can select from one of these lists. I'm just going to select outlook.com only, and when I click next, it is going to ask you to create a password. I'm just going to put a strong password right now. Okay, and I'm just going to click next, and it's asking me for some details like my country is India. I'm going to put India, and I'm just putting in my date of birth here. This is not my date of birth. I'm just putting some random date. Okay, and it's going to ask you for your name. I'm just going to put low code superhero code. You can put your real name if you want. Okay, and I'm just going to click next. Prove you're human. You have to. It will ask you for some capture details. Before it was different. Sometimes it asks you to rotate a sheep or something to a direction. It depends. Sometimes it's just there to check if you're human. Now it's asking you to sign in faster with your face, fingerprint, or pin. You can skip for now if you don't want to, but best practice is to set it up when you first set up Azure account itself. I'm just going to click next, and it's asking me to create a passkey since I'm logged in into a computer, Microsoft Windows computer. It allows you to use passkey. If I click next, it's asking me to scan this code in my Android device. So what this does, this creates a passkey which is stored in your mobile phone, and this will secure your account more. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to my camera application, and I'm just going to scan this from my phone, and it's saying something like connect device. In my phone, it's saying connect device. When I click connect device, and it's going to ask me to type in my pin, or it's going to ask for my fingerprint. And when I put in my pin or my fingerprint, a passkey gets saved in my mobile device. So passkey is also created. So we have two factors of authentication already in our Microsoft account. One is the password. Second one is passkey. You can set up other things like Microsoft Authenticator or not, but I'm not going to show this right now because I just want to focus on Power Apps only. So when I click OK, it has created a Microsoft Azure account for us. So we already have created a Microsoft account. To create an Azure account, just go to azure.com. If you go to azure.com, and there's this button called Get Started with Azure, and you can click on this button called Try Azure for free. And once you do that, you will already be signed in with your Microsoft account. It's going to ask you for things like personal, like how do you plan to use your account and your address and all sorts of information. I'm going to fill this information, and I'm going to get back to you in the next video. So I had filled in all my information, and it's going to ask you to solve a puzzle. It's a very simple puzzle. I just have to point this goat in the same direction as the rabbit. And I click submit, and it's asking for some confirmation. And I just click next. Let's wait a few seconds. So once your profile creation is done, it's going to ask you to verify by card. Here you will have to give your credit card information. You will be charged a very small amount, but you will get refunded very fast. So what it's going to do is it's going to take your card name. I'm just going to put my card name, and I'm going to put my card number, expiry date, CVV, address, and all. And it is going to take you to your bank's website, and you'll be charged a small amount, which in a day or two you will get refunded. All right. I'm just going to do that off camera. And I have identified by card, and I'm just going to click sign up. So what happened was that after I clicked the sign up button, it took me to my bank's website, and here it's saying, I'm not eligible for Azure free account. And it's saying you can still use Azure Pay as you go. Sometimes you may be eligible for a free account if it is the first time. If it's your second time, you may not be eligible. So now what I'm going to do is, since I'm not eligible for free account, I'm just going to select sign up for Azure with Pay as you go pricing. And it's going to ask some information like I have to agree to the terms. I click next, and it's asking us to select the credit card again. I'm clicking next. GST, I don't have a GST ID, and I click next. It is asking for technical support. I don't need technical support because all we're doing is we're going to learn Power Apps, and I click sign up. So it's asking us to set up multi-factor authentication. We have already set up multi-factor authentication, so no need. So, I'm just gonna put all okay. It's asking for feedback. I'm just going to click submit. So we have an Azure account. So once we have an Azure account, we would be able to log in into Microsoft Entra, which is the identity provider. So you can click on this button, these three icons, and you can go to Microsoft Entra ID, and you can click on this button, Manage Tenants. So you already have a default tenant. If you want to create another tenant, you could do it, but I don't want to do it right now. And we have created a user, and it is not recommended to give the required Power Apps license to the user who created the Azure and Entra tenant. It is always best practice to create a new user and give the required licenses to the new user. That's pretty simple. I'm just going to show that right now. What we will have to do is you will have to create a user. You'll have to create a new user. I'm just going to call the user as going to call you Power Apps user. Okay, and I'm just going to put display name also Power Apps user, and I'm just going to create a simple password. I'm just going to put, yeah, I just created a password right now, and I'm just going to save it somewhere. Okay, and I'm just going to click next. I can put some basic information like first name would be Power Apps user. Last name also, I'm just going to put, I don't want to put last name right now. Job title is Power Apps. Okay, so he's a Power Apps developer, and I'm just going to click assignments. I don't want to do any assignments. I'm just going to click review and create, and a new user is created. So since a new user is created, you will be able to log in with the new user, and we are going to give the license to the new user. We won't give any licenses to the user that was user ID that was used to create the Microsoft Entra tenant, or should I say Azure account. So we can click on this button, and there's this button called sign in with a different user. When you click this button, you can click on this uh, button and type in his user ID. To find his user ID, you can go back to your Azure account, Azure portal, and you can go to Entra. You can go to users. So you will only see two users. So you'll see the Power Apps user. You can copy this Power Apps user, and you will be able to use this thing called user principal name. User principal name is how a person is identified. You can copy that, paste here, and you can click next. And we have a password with him. And I click sign in. And it's asking me to update the password. And I'm just going to put the current password. I'm just going to put a new password. Click sign in. So it's asking us to set up a multi-factor enforcement also. I'm going to quickly do the multi-factor enforcement also. And I'm just going to click next. And I already have Microsoft Authenticator. Let me set up the account again. I'm just going to go to Authenticator, and I'm going to the Authenticator app on my phone, and I'm clicking next. And I'm just clicking on the QR code icon on my phone, and I'm scanning this. Once I scan it and an account gets added, I can click on this, and it's asking us to put 38 in the Microsoft Authenticator app. I have a notification in my app which is asking for the number. I'm just going to put 38, and I'm just going to click yes on my phone, and it's asking for my fingerprint again. And once I do that, my Microsoft Authenticator is able to authenticate me. I mean, the new user that we just created. So what we have done right now is we created a Microsoft account, and we used the Microsoft account to create an Azure account. Once you created an Azure account, you can go to Entra, and you'll be able to create a new user. And that new user's name is Power Apps user. You can call this new user whatever you need, but uh, this is the user who we will assign Power Apps license to. And I'm just going to click yes, stay signed in. So we have two users right now. So the way you would start using Power Apps right away is to get a developer license. To get a developer license, you can go to Power Apps developer plan sign in page. You could just go there by going to just searching Microsoft Power Apps and go to the Microsoft domain page, and you could click on this button, try for free, and you can put in the user principal of the account that was created after you created the domain. So not the account that was used to make the domain, but uh, the account that was created after you created Entra domain. So you put in the user principal. You should click the tick button, and you can click this button, start free. So once you do that, it will take you to make.powerapps.com. From from now on, you could just go directly to make.powerapp.com. So just warning here: this is a development environment, and it's not for production use. So you have a developer environment, and you can do most things that you would do in a production environment. It's just that you won't be able to share it with multiple people. So that's something to watch out for. Only you would be able to create the app. Only you would be able to use it, but you would be able to do most of the things. Like, there are some limitations. You could read about the limitations by going to this Power Platform page, and you could scroll down, and you can see the plans. You can go to pricing, and you see there are plans. See pricing details, and you'll be able to see what does additional things you would get if you have a paid version. So it says three development environments use pre-built and custom on-premises connectors. Microsoft Dataverse entitlement for 2 gigabytes of database, and run up to 750 flows per month. So this should satisfy most of the things a person who's learning Power Apps would do. But if you want to do more things, or you want to take it to production, or make an application for a client, then ideally you should be looking for other uh, Power Apps licenses. I'm going to quickly go through those other licenses as well. Be looking at is per user per premium plan, and that is billed at $20 per user per month as of making of this video. This might increase or this might change. The features might change as day goes by. You can make as many apps as you want. You are actually billed per user, not per application. You can have 10 application that is used by each person, 100 application, whatever. All the premium connectors, including a SQL, SAP, Salesforce, so many premium connectors are there. So in connectors, there are two types of connectors. There are premium connectors and there are normal connectors. Premium connectors will cost you more, and they are a bit more sophisticated. Like, if you want to connect to an SAP or Salesforce, you will have to use premium connectors. And they also have this thing called AI builder credits. So AI builder, like, it lets you give commands to AI, and that will up, create an application which it thinks is close to what your requirements are. So this is a great way to start the application process. But once the AI has created an application for you, you can customize it as per your requirements. And there is Dataverse. You have 250 megabytes of data, 2 gigabyte file per user. So this essentially, why you would use per user is for organizations needing multiple internal apps, AI automation, and scalability. So if your organization needs multiple applications, your best bet would be to go for this per user. And there's pay as you go. This is like you pay for each of these services, and it would approximate this will change, like, as per your usage. It goes up to $10 per user per app per month, and it is billed via Azure. So in Azure, there's a section called billing, and you'll be able to see how much you are charged for this. This is best for projects with fluctuating workloads. So if you are building an application, for example, like for a seasonal business, or a seasonal application, like only once or twice a year that application will get used, and it will get used a lot during those few months, and rest of the year nothing will happen. Your best bet would be to go to pay as you go. uh, Problem is, like, if for some reason uh, it is being used a lot throughout the year, then it can be more expensive than the other two plans that we discussed right now. The plan that almost all businesses, most of the businesses will get their Power Apps licenses using the M365 bundle. So what businesses like all businesses will have Office licenses. Before they used to call M365 as Office licenses, right? Office will contain things like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and all that, and OneDrive. Businesses are anyways going to need those programs like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and all, and they are going to buy a plan. And there are many tiers like E3, E5, and all. You can read more about what is given in these pricing tiers E3 and E5 and all by going to Microsoft.com. And one of the applications that is bundled with E3 and E5 is Power Apps. It will give you most of the basic connectors and is sufficient for simple internal apps. So if the application is only going to be used within your organization, and your organization already has Microsoft 365 subscription, uh, you can you don't need any other additional licenses because Power Apps is already bundled with M365. The only problem is it doesn't support premium connectors or custom Dataverse environments. So, uh, like Dataverse has a few standard tables and there are custom tables. Like you can create a custom table uh, for your requirement. That doesn't work here. You will have to pay extra just for those environments. So apps that require these custom Dataverse environments, you won't be able to use this M365 bundle. You might have to buy another plan just for that Dataverse environment.